The truth occurs.
Hey everyone, I had the weirdest experience today. I thought about just writing about it on Facebook, but I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna make a video about it. Man, I was down in the old port with my son, and we did the parkour, and we were heading back, and there was this guy, and he had this tattoo on his arm. It was like, it was an autism tattoo. It was like the autism like ribbon with all the puzzles, and it said underneath God's angels, and I was just so touched because I've said to my husband many times, like, well, we can complain about our son's behavior, but, you know, he has this incredible purity of heart and of spirit, something that I see in other people who are on the spectrum also. So I saw the tattoo and I was like, wow, that's really nice. And I just told him, I said, that's a really nice tattoo, that's very touching. And he was there with his son who was autistic, 15-year-old guy, really tall. So the guy introduced himself and he asked me if I wanted to go have a drink with him. And like, I never just like meet people on the street and have drinks with them. I don't even drink. So that's one reason why I never have drinks with people. And the other reason is I just don't go off with strangers. But I was just like, yeah, okay, why not? I mean, kind of like in my head, I was like, you know, like I'm like exactly not the person who would do this. So I was just kind of like, why don't I just do something totally not the usual for me? I'll go with the guy and have a drink with him. So we're standing in line and like the restaurant people come up and they're like, sir, we have a table for you for 4. And I was like, okay, what are you, VIP or is it because of his son? I don't know. His son looks pretty normal to me, but I don't know. So we go in and we sit down and he's like, you know, have whatever you want. First he goes, is your husband okay with this? And I was like, yeah, my husband's fine. Because my husband is fine because he totally trusts me because he knows he can. So I can go and have a drink with someone. And my son was with us, you know. So he's like, you can have whatever you want. And I was like, it's okay, I just had dinner. I don't like people I don't know buying me stuff. I don't really like anybody buying me stuff, but especially people I don't know. And especially men that I don't know. So I was like, no, I don't want him to buy me anything, but I'll have a drink, okay. And then he wanted to give my son something to eat, and I was like, okay. And so he gets a pitcher of sangria, and I was like, you know, I'm not going to drink this. You're going to have to drink most of it. I'll have like 1 glass. Anyway, it got weird, like, I thought we were just going to talk about like our kids and like, you know, his experiences with the school system, like stuff like that, you know. I thought we were going to talk more about that because his son was doing super well in school. He's like super smart, gets all kinds of awards and stuff. And he's in high school. My son's going to be in high school in only 2 years, even though he's still only 8, but he skipped a grade and he's kind of at the tail end, so like high school is something I'm thinking about. Anyway, I just thought we were going to just talk, you know. So as he's ordering the food and recommending for my son to have a pizza, he says, oh, pizza is my favorite dish right after women. and then manicotti. And I was like, what? I mean, women are not a food. Obviously, you don't eat women, so I know what he's saying. I mean, something like, I don't know, is he talking about like actually eating women, like, you know, in that way, or does he just mean that he likes women? But I mean, clearly it was something, you know, sexual. And you don't eat women, so like that's totally inappropriate to say, highly offensive to me as a woman. And the weird thing is, like, I have not been treated like this in so long. Like when I was young, in my early 20s, I used to get treated like a piece of meat all the time, so I would be kind of used to it. But at this age, like these days, not so much. So I was kind of really shocked. I was like, right after women and manicotti, and I just picture him in bed, like with a woman and like all this Italian food. It's like, what the hell, you know? But I didn't know what to say, so it's just like, okay. So then, what was the next thing he did? Well, this was weird. As he's talking to me, I noticed that he's like this all the time. And he's Italian, and like every time he'll say something to me, and like as soon as I try to answer, shh. And I was like, what? You don't shh me. Nobody shhs me. You don't tell me to shut up. I'm a 45-year-old woman. 45 years old. I have a kid. I'm a mom. You don't tell me to shut up. And anyway, you don't tell anyone to shut up. And why? Because I'm a woman? Like, is it because I'm one of your favorite Italian dishes? Like, you're going to tell me to shut up too? It was weird. So he's like, shh, shh, shh. So I was like, okay, that's, okay, now I'm like thinking, okay, this is really strange. Plus he's like, he's doing this all the time. So I was like, why is he winking at me? Is he like, that's like a flirting thing. Is he flirting with me? Or maybe he has a tick. I thought, well, I don't know, he's doing it so much. Maybe it's neurological, so I'm not going to judge him. So then what happened? So then he kept talking to me. And he was talking to me about autism, and I was like, yeah, I know. Yeah. I didn't tell him anything about me, but I was like, yeah, I know. And his son, the Aspie over there, is like super normal. I'd rather talk to him. The dad was like freaking me out. Yeah, he's like blah 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 about Asperger's, and you know they're really smart, and I was like, yeah, I know. But it's like anytime I try to say anything, spit. So I was like, okay, this is really strange. So then he kept talking about how much he likes women, and then he started talking about his special friend, like his girlfriend, but it's like a friend with benefits, no attachment, and he starts like telling me all about her and like how her boyfriend came back when they were in the middle of, you know what, and I was like, why is he telling me this? It's so inappropriate, like we just met. So I was like, okay, this is so weird, I'm so uncomfortable with this, but it's like, I don't know, maybe he's just a weird guy, I don't know. And he's like, yeah, I diagnosed myself with autism, and I was like, I diagnosed you with a personality disorder. Go back to your DSM, have another look, I think you're wrong. So then he tells me about his girlfriend. Yeah, my girlfriend, she's autistic, and we have great sex, and I was like, really? How about that? Oh, I forgot to mention that at this point, we were talking in French, because when he started talking about that stuff with his girlfriend, I was like, shh, a schmidt. I did that back to him, because he kept doing that to me, so I went, shh, shh, and he's like, oh, I like you, you're cool. I was like, yeah, tell me something I don't know. No, and I said, well, you know, you're doing it to me, so like that's what you do, so shh. But yeah, no, we talked in French, so my son wouldn't know what we were talking about for that stuff, because he doesn't speak French. So don't worry, he didn't hear anything. He's like, yeah, well, I diagnosed her, and I was like, oh, so you do a lot of this, you know, it's not just for you. He's like, yeah, I diagnosed with her with autism. She was like, what, why, you know, why? And he's like, oh, look, because this. And I'm trying to hint, I'm like, well, people can have traits, you know. Anyway, so he's telling me about his girlfriend who's autism, and he's like, yeah, she also has schizophrenia, and I was like, let me guess, he diagnosed her too. And it was really strange. So I was like, okay, it's getting, like, the guy's weird. At this point, I'm like, okay, the guy's weird, but he seems to have a lot of money. I mean, he had, like, really expensive clothes, and, like, I don't know, there was something about him. He just came across like a person who has money. I would know, I've spent time with people who have money. But a person who has money who likes to kind of show it off, so I don't know, maybe he hasn't had money that long. Anyway, I was like, well, he must be working or doing something. Now it's kind of occurring to me, maybe he's a drug dealer. Or a pimp. I don't know. I mean, you can make money in different ways without having your shit super together. But anyway, so, where was I? So we're sitting there, and he's winking at me and doing all this stuff, and then what was the next thing he did? Oh yeah, so we're talking about his, I bring up the tattoo again, since that's how it all started. I was like, yeah, you got a few of them, and whatever, and I'm like, I don't have any tattoos, I don't feel like the need to put tattoos on my body, but whatever, they look nice on other people. And he's like, yeah, I have, you know, the autism tattoo, and I have this, he had some other stuff here. And then he goes like this. He lifts his arm, and he has this on his arm. Like the devil horns. So I was like, oh my God, what am I doing here with this person? What, you know, what is this? Oh, it was just too weird. So I was like, I just said straight up to him, I was like, are you a Satanist? And he's like, no, it's just to ward off the evil eye, because he's Italian. He's like, yeah, because, you know, I believe in the evil eye, and like if you know, somebody might give you the evil eye, and so like you have to have this on you, like, to ward it off. I mean, to me, this, I just hear nonsense. So I was like, well, you're a little superstitious, aren't you? Oh yes, I'm very superstitious. I said to someone, like, are you superstitious too? And he's like, no. So I was like, well, that's really weird. And then I just all of a sudden, you know, I just was like, okay, this is too much. I said, I'm not superstitious. And I told him I'm a Christian. And he's like, oh yeah, yeah, you know, that's great. And I was like, no, I'm a born again Christian. And then I thought to myself, I'm a born again Christian. What am I doing sitting here with this guy, like having a drink with him, and he's double tattoo, a spitz. I was like, okay, that's it. That's it. I'm leaving right now. And I kind of thought, like, the way he was talking to me, oh, go, Gunnar. Gunnar was there, actually. It's not like he doesn't know. But let me just finish this, because I've been rambling long enough. I don't need you interrupting it. So, as I was talking to him, it seemed like he was, like, really kind of controlling, dominating, and even almost like a pickup artist or something. But and a sexist, yeah, well, he was a bigot. But there was something about the way he was talking to me that I was really uncomfortable with, like, just telling me to be quiet. He also called me good girl, like, weird things like that. I really didn't appreciate it. And so I just said, you know, I don't feel comfortable with this. I'm gonna go. And I just got up and left. I didn't finish my sangria. I had like this much, and that was too much for me anyway. I just got up and left. And I thought, you know, when I was younger, maybe I would have stayed, because I would have been like, oh, well, I don't want to be rude. And, you know, he bought me a drink. But, you know, really, like, when you feel like something is wrong, like you're with somebody and everything they're, like, I'm a Christian, right? And everything that this guy is telling me, I don't care, his son is an aspie, whatever, that's not enough common ground for me to stay hanging out with somebody. That, you know, when you're with somebody and they're telling you about, like, relations they had, or like, their tattoo of the devil horn, whatever it is, like, you feel uncomfortable, or you just don't like the way they're treating you, they sound really sexist, you just leave, you know. And when I was younger, maybe I would have been like, oh, I don't want to be rude, like I was saying. And I think that women do that, especially younger women. They're always, like, worried about the other person's feelings. They're like, oh, you know, what is he going to think? Who cares what he thinks? You do what's right for you. So, you know, I went to see about having a drink, and I realized that I didn't want to be with this person, and I just got up and left. I was like, okay, bye. Have a good evening. It was nice meeting you. I just wanted to tell you about the story, because seriously, it was so strange. Like, he's a very strange person, very strange experience, and I was really shaken when I left. I felt so much like God in my heart was telling me, like, you do not need to be here right now. And it doesn't matter what he thinks or how he feels, just leave. Because it's not good for you. And I did that. And I just want to encourage you also, like, when you're in situations or you're with people where you don't feel comfortable, just say, bye. Shh, Ashpet, I'm leaving. That's it.
Bye. Have a good time.
Bye. Have a good time. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. So that's it. Anyway, I just want to share that with you. So thanks for listening. And have a good night. I'll see you next time.